My name's Tom Brandon. I'm with the Riverdale Park Police Department. When I got there, I was by myself initially. He had a chair in his hand, and it was basically had it up over top of his head, and he slammed it down on a table. For the safety of the public and myself, I deployed the taser. Both probes hit his arm, his shoulder, and his forearm. 5-second cycle went through. There was no effect. So at that point, telling the guy to still give him commands, get on the ground. The gentleman started walking away with the taser probes in his arm. People were scrambling to get out of the way. At this time, I'm still trying to deploy the taser. It still wasn't working. So I moved on to my next method, which was the ass batons.
Get down! Get down on the ground! Do it! Get down!
Hit him once in the I think it was the left hip, if I'm not mistaken. And then he still wasn't complying, so I struck him again with the baton in his leg. Still, there was no effect with the baton or the taser at that point. At this time, he started kind of backing down a hallway that was inside of the McDonald's, which leads to the bathroom area. It was a narrow hallway. My concern at that point in time was, I don't want to go hands-on with this guy. I had a feeling he was under the influence of some kind of narcotic, which in fact he was. He was under the influence of PCP. I didn't want to go hands-on with the guy, so just using the distraction method with the taser, I called for backup. They were on their way. I was just waiting pretty much at that point.
I got there, individual had my partner pretty much pinned up against the wall. I nodded at him. He knew I was coming, so I just pushed through the individuals that were filming. I had like a tenth of a second to think about what I was going to do. So I just decided to just hammer him in the back. When I went around and hit him with my arms, I got between the probes, and it shocked me pretty good. I realized that not only was I getting tased, but the guy was on PCP. I could smell it. We backed off. I drew my taser. We got him kind of guided toward the exit door. I hit him with the taser. He went outside. Initially, when he was shot the first time by the other officer, he didn't have enough dispersion. There wasn't enough dispersion through his body. When I shot him, I had plenty of dispersion, and it had no effect. Brand new tasers. Had no effect on him. Once we got him outside, the drive stunned him. It had a little effect. He was on PCP.
We didn't put this stuff away. Move.
And at that point, my corporal deploys pepper spray, which the guy just took it and went like this and pretty much wiped it off his face. The taser was deployed again, which then the suspect, dropped to the ground. Which time more backup came. I was able to grab a hold of him at that point. We were able to get a hold of him and able to take control. Our lieutenant that handles training calls me to the office and says, "Hey, you're not going to believe this." I said, "What?" And he says, "Well, the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Academy from California called. They saw the video from McDonald's, and they want to offer, training to you guys." And I was like, stunned at that point. Right away, I decided, yeah, this is what I want. It exceeded my expectations 110%. I mean, the techniques were very, very good. They're techniques that a lot of law enforcement officers, I feel, need, especially, with the defensive tactics training that we have. It's minimal. It's very minimal. Being able to escape somebody that's on top of him. A lot of times, and I've seen this. I've seen officers panic when somebody gets on top of them, and they're using all their energy and everything to try to escape the attack. So I felt like that these techniques were, very conducive to the job. You know, very workable, very easy. Like the escape techniques were like the biggest thing, just to get away. I had an incident prior to that where I actually deployed taser. It was a drive stun 3 times on a suspect that was on crack cocaine and alcohol, and the taser just malfunctioned. It just didn't work. It didn't work for what I needed. I had to go hands-on with the guy, and it was just kind of a brawl from there, you know. And like the McDonald's incident, you know, I started thinking about the incident from before. You know, oh God, when the taser failed, I thought, oh God, you know, I started thinking of my daughter, you know, and that I want to go home to my daughter tonight, you know. And if your tools fail, you know, you've always got your hands, you know, and you've got your body to use, and if you know how to use it, it's effective.
Coming from a person who had no experience whatsoever other than what the military teaches you in the Marine Corps, once you're on the ground, you've got somebody on PCP, you better get trained by the school. You better get trained. It's the best training I've ever had as far as being on your back and getting up, or how to get up from your back.
The defensive tactics training we get, you know, it's very minimal. You may get it once a year, sometimes if that. But the reality is, when you're a police officer and you're in this job, you need more training. You just need it. And I felt like this training is something that you know, police officers should have.
Your department should definitely train you more in your ground game. That way you don't have to resort, as soon as you get thrown to the ground, you believe that you're overwhelmed, you may have to resort to lethal force if you don't have this training.
When an officer panics in a situation, they might become violent. They might, you know, they might use a fist, an elbow. They might use a kick, you know, to stop the threat. And that's the way we're trained, is to stop the threat. Like I've studied Krav Maga, you know, and Krav Maga is violent. You know, it's not competition. It's not for competition. There's no art to Krav Maga. Where the jiu-jitsu aspect comes in, where, you know, okay, we can stop that threat by, you know, doing a full mount, getting you know, weight bearing on the hips, and just doing a control hold, you know, to hold that person there until somebody gets there. So that way too, you know, if you have somebody with a phone, a camera, whatever, and they're watching this, and somebody says, oh, you know, there's something that did happen, well, you know, it's going to show, well, this officer had jiu-jitsu, this officer was just trying to hold the guy there, he wasn't trying to hurt him, you know, in that situation. So I feel that this training has you know, helped us kind of overcome that violent aspect of it.
Appreciate the opportunity to learn and to take this training back to my department. Hopefully that all departments will be able to get trained in this, and also the military. Thank you very much.
I just definitely want to thank the Gracie Academy and for giving me this opportunity. You know, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, as I see it. Just want to thank everybody, and you know, again, I look forward to coming back and getting you know, level 2 training.
Release it and lock. Pick this up to your chest now. Keep everything tight. Now pull this and push that slowly and talk them down. Talk them over.
On your belly.
Talk them over. Very nice. Perfect. Go get the box spray with the fingers. Go get the fingers with that hand, other hand. Yes, and pull him straight back. Talk to his hand.
Down.
Bring it.
The other hand in.
Perfect. Lock it in.
Push.
Stack it. Good. Back them out.